Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield. Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB.
Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
Westfield and everybody out there in Westfield and beyond. You're listening to this week's edition of Tigers Talk, all things Westfield Tech Academy and more. Good morning. It is, Thursday the 24th, and we've got a little chilly start to the day. My co-host Joe Langone, our principal, he's not here. I don't know where he is, so his seat is empty at the moment. But we got a great show today. Thanks for listening. We have our manufacturing department in-house today with Gary Nato, one of our great manufacturing teachers, and we have a few students with us today. So we're going to be talking STEM Week because the governor has identified this as STEM Week for all schools in the Commonwealth. It's actually Manufacturing Month too. And we had a great event last week with some of our partners. So we got a lot to talk about. We're even going to talk about some mindfulness later on in the show. How do you feel about that, Gary?
Awesome.
Yeah?
I'll talk about mindfulness the whole show.
We got to share our mic. What was that? You want to talk about that the whole?
We'll start with
the whole show.
20-minute mindfulness exercise, and then the show's done.
Absolutely, yeah. So just want to kind of mention a couple of things. So good morning, Gary. Good morning, guys. You want to introduce the crew while we get going here?
So are they sharing mics here? Is that
yeah, guys, just share your mics as
Mr.
Okay. Nato.
Why don't you? So
they can also pick up the 2 microphones that are on the table.
Yeah,
and they
we
can
got
share those.
Yeah. So I took care of that, producer Pete.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right, we'll start over here with Steve. Introduce yourself.
I'm Steven, junior. I enjoy my shop.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Thanks for being back. Steve's been on before.
Yeah.
I'm Hunter. I'm also a junior. It's my first time here.
Welcome.
I love manufacturing.
Yeah, Hunter, why haven't you been on our show before?
I don't know. This is just kind of a last minute, I'm gonna do it sort of thing.
All right, because we're gonna get you on. We gotta feature Hunter.
Sounds good.
I'm David. I'm also a junior, and I enjoy manufacturing.
I'm Dominic. We're all juniors. Best shop in the school.
All right, Dom. And Dom, welcome back too. Dave, were you on last time too? I forgot. So he is first time on. Okay. And of course, Mr. Nato. So thanks for coming on. Been here before.
Couple times.
A few times, yeah. So
I got a face for radio. I should do this more.
so welcome to the show. We got a lot to chat about today. First and foremost, I just want to let all the listeners know that we are having our annual open house tonight. Technically from 6 to 7:30, but we'll be here from 6 to 8.
Yeah, I usually leave about 9.
About 9,
A lot of alumni come through. It's an awesome night for us.
Yeah.
A lot of our graduates come and visit us.
And I'm glad you brought that up. As Gary just said, we have alumni here. This is, for myself, it's the night where I can really promote the school to our potential 8th graders. So it's kind of a big night for us as far as recruiting. It's also a great night for our current 9th graders because they're still going through exploratory. They're still trying to figure out the shops, what they want to do. So I would urge, any parent or grandparent listening, if they have a 9th grader currently at our school, a great night to come in, tap the brains of our instructors, find out more about the shop, where your son or daughter can go as far as college and or career. Manufacturing does a great job bringing in industry.
I think we got between 12 and 14 shops showing up tonight, so it's like a trade show. I actually tell all of our young people, these guys will be here tonight, some running machines. The 11th graders, I have them go around and talk to the shops because they're the shops that hire our kids. So there'll be 12 of them here tonight.
And that's just for manufacturing, so... so a lot of our shops do have folks representing industry. So it's an incredible night to come and see what the school is all about. You can see the kids in action. You can meet businesses. You can find out some great information where your son and daughter may have some potentials down the road. So that is from 6 to 8. We'll have clubs set up. Sports teams will be here. The AD will be here. Some of our school stores will be open, and we hope to have a packed house.
Like cookies and candy.
Yeah, Culinary Arts has got stuff going. It's a great night. So whether you're an 8th grader, a 7th grader, a 9th grader, if you're a student and the parents just want to see what's going on at the school, and if you're just a citizen, a taxpayer, a politician, you want to come and see what makes this school tick, come on by tonight from 6 to 8.
You can also see Studio 120 will be wide open for people to take a poke around, too.
Thanks, Producer Pete. Our beautiful studio here, 120, that is run part and parcel with our great producer, Peter Coles. And then I think we've got Ben behind the camera today.
Emily's directing. I needed some help today. There's a big shop in here, so...
Oh, Will, sorry, Will, I couldn't. There you go. So we got Will running a camera. And where's Emily? She's
directing.
She's
back,
directing.
She's in the back.
So she's behind the glass. Hi, Em.
Yep.
And these guys, they're actually 10th graders in our graphics shop. So
I call them my rock stars.
The rock stars. They've done a great job.
Yep.
Yeah. So we got a lot going on. So open house tonight. Miss Lakrinsky, hot off the line with our attendance. We do the attendance report now. Do you have the attendance?
You don't have music for that?
Pete's going to do my intro music. Oh, thank you.
You don't have to hide its radio.
Thank you. Oh, my gosh. Look at these numbers. So another feature we're starting to do, and we've been talking about it the last couple of weeks, is attendance has been a big focus.
Here, we'll try this. Ready? Wait.
And this week's attendance. So, I don't know about that one, Pete.
Come on, the typewriter song.
I love it.
Go ahead, you read it over. You're supposed to read over the song.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week's attendance. So our 9th graders coming in at 97%. That is above the state average. We try to shoot for 95%. 10th graders, don't know what happened last week, 10th graders. Slipped a little, 93.62%. Ooh, we got a little work to do there.
You guys got to recruit.
11th grade.
It's a competition.
Guys crushed it, 95.59. And very proud of our 12th graders, 95.66. So on average, we exceeded that 95% threshold goal, and we're doing great with the attendance. So we got to keep it up. It's going to be a focus this year. I'm on the district task force that kind of leads that charge, but we need you in school. We want you in school. We got to have you in school. So Great job on attendance. Thank you, Patty Lekrinsky. Thank you, Pete. That was wonderful music. All right, kind of segueing into the guests. I kind of want to get right to them. So it's Manufacturing Month and it's STEM Week, and I guess what does that mean? It means we want to focus on those pathways and careers. So
manufacturing hits all of them.
Talk a little bit about the scope of manufacturing, the scope of what you guys do, your partners, the whole ball of wax for our listeners.
Right. So I mean, STEM's perfect for manufacturing because obviously, in the engineering, there's science, math, all that kind of stuff is involved in manufacturing. So. Support us. One of the reasons tonight at the open house we'll have so many shops here for us. We have 100% placement for co-op for all of our students because of the availability we are.
So let's expand on that a little bit. What's that mean?
So
I know what it means.
Our co-op for you. So unfortunately, right now we have 2 students that need to get their grades up. So it's just a reminder to everybody out there that listens that their grades need to be 70 or above. We promote that in their junior year to these guys so that they keep their grades up. Occasionally, a student will slip here or there, but if their grades are there, we have 100% placement. So like this, right now, it's 11, 12. 11 and 10 shop week, so they're in shop. But next week, when it's 12 9s in shop, we don't have any students in school. They're all out working. We do $2 an hour over minimum wage, so they're all at $14 an hour to start. And through merit, if they get raises, they get raises. So some of them are making $16, $17 an hour instead of coming to school. So I always say, if I give you $20 instead of going to math class, how many students out there would be in on that? So I think everybody takes that up. That's what co-op is. So instead of coming to school, you get to go become educated in your trade area still. That's the agreement we have with the shops out there, and they pay them to do that. So all of our students, all of our seniors are out there doing that. We have 2 right now that are in. We're at the end of the first quarter. Hopefully their grades are up. They'll be out as well. We've got jobs waiting for them already. And that's, again, because of the support we have from business and industry, because of the availability and the level of opportunities that are out there for manufacturing and manufacturing students.
So, let me bring in my co-host.
Good morning. I'm sorry for the delay here. Sorry for the delay, Mr. O'Leary.
Well, welcome to the show. Let me introduce yourself to you're in the flow with Rob and Joe.
That's it. The other half is, arguably the lesser half is here, so I apologize for my delay. I was out of the building yesterday. Mr. Tulumis and I took a group to Girls in the Trades, which was at Pathfinder in Palmer this year. Great event, but you know what happens. If you're out for a day, there's a conga line of folks waiting for you when you get in. So, but we'll be fine.
Back with us then.
Oh, producer Pete making a live appearance here on the show.
Yeah, we're going to try to share some things.
Reconnoiter our microphones. Look at me messing up the works here.
So, Joe, let me get you up to speed this morning. So we have a new segment, attendance. We report our attendance out.
I just ran into Patty on the way back to the office.
She was kind enough, and our average for last week was over 95%.
I would hazard to guess that we are topping the district.
So
that would be my less than supported by data guess right at the moment, but I'm sure that if I looked at the data, we'd be on the top.
Well, it is a focus. We're doing quite
We're
well.
the cream of the crop. We rise to the top, Mr. O'Leary.
That's right. So that's a new feature that we're happy about, and we're also so what better than to have a shop that really hits on all of those points that we're talking about today. So
firing on all pistons,
all
if you
cylinders,
will,
if you will, 100%. So Garrett was just recapping a little co-op and what co-op was for you folks that are just joining us. Co-op is an opportunity, as Gary mentioned, where if students come to Westfield Tech, and let me emphasize, it's only for vocational technical schools in the Commonwealth that can participate in co-op. But if the students meet certain criteria, and one is the competencies they've learned in shop, and then the other is make sure their grades are in order, their attendance is good, their discipline and such. As soon as, in some shops, as soon as second quarter of junior year, they can go out on co-op, which means, as Gary said, they don't come to school during shop week. They actually go into industry They make qualifying wages or competitive wages. I don't think we have too many students that are at minimum. They're all above minimum wage, which is outstanding. And then sometimes those jobs lead to full-time employment or part-time, as maybe a student will, pursue some college too. So it's and in your shop, nothing in life's a guarantee, but it's almost, if you come to manufacturing and you do everything that we prescribe for you, you're going to be out on co-op senior year. So guarantee a pretty good job. And
My years that I've been here, that's been the case.
yeah, because you guys are always running about 100%, unless a student has a glitch in one of their academic programs,
or if they choose for some reason to, or other to. I think in my 15 years, I can count on one hand how many students have been here during their senior year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, excellent. So who, what's on your minds today for manufacturing? What do you want to share with the listeners?
Well, first we were one of the things that the MacWick program was. We had a really cool. We did it last week because STEM Week's so packed that we had invited 40. How many?
41 eighth graders.
So 41 eighth graders came from the middle school, came through. We partnered with a couple of shops from the outside. I think Jarvis Manufacturing, Advanced Manufacturing, or Jarvis Surgical Advanced Manufacturing. They did a tour of each of those shops, and they came here in our shop, and we had them running machines, making a couple. Al left there with a couple little parts. It was a great day. Then they went upstairs, and was it Wendy Storm? I wasn't able to because I had classes down here, so I wasn't at the presentation.
Yeah, President John Killiam from Mass MEP, and Karen Mayhew, I believe, and a few folks did a really nice presentation.
The presentation was excellent.
Yeah, actually, I mentioned to Lyle, your colleague, because I know you guys show a lot of cool videos during freshman year, but this was really cool. Pretty much how everything we touch in life is manufactured.
So, interestingly, strange coincidence last night regarding the eighth graders that were here last week. I teach as an adjunct faculty member at AIC in the education department. And we started a new term last night, and I'm teaching a group of students, a STEM class actually, STEM education for the 21st century. And one of the students in my new bunch is a Westfield Public Schools elementary school teacher who has a son in 8th grade who participated.
Oh, wonderful.
And was so excited about manufacturing that he and mom will be here tonight for open house and also to arrange a shadow day.
Very cool.
He wants to shadow in manufacturing. So very happy little coincidence when she found out my background and said, oh, my son was there last week. He loved it. And she said, he's been talking about going to the high school, but I've been kind of nudging him in the direction of the technical academy. And I think that was the hook. So I said, well, open house. It's a great, can I arrange a shadow? You can come tomorrow night. We'll set it up tomorrow night.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's great, just a great coincidence.
So they came through. That was awesome. But the program that we did that through, I call it the MacWick program because that's what their certification is. They take 2 tests, and it's a statewide certification that our students take. And that's one of the reasons I want to have each of these guys talk about their experience. They took the MacWick 1, so as sophomores they take the MacWick Level 1 test, and as juniors at the end of the year they'll be taking the MacWick Level 2 test. Most schools wait until their senior year to take the MacWick Level 2, but because most of our guys are out on co-op that week, we asked to do it at the end of the junior year. Last year all of our juniors passed that and got that certification. These guys all took it last year and passed it and got their certification. So I just want to go around and have them talk about their experience with their test, how prepared they felt for that.
And before we do that, I want to jump in. I learned a lot, you guys, the last couple weeks. So when this organization out of Auburn, Mass MEPS, which is, I don't know, Joe, it's kind of the Massachusetts nonprofit consortium that kind of has to do with everything manufacturing, from early education for middle and high school kids to...
It's a clearinghouse for every facet of the industry, from job training and job search through, you name it.
Yeah,
it's
underemployment, unemployment, marketing, you name it. So it was
advocacy, lobbying, everything.
So when it came to me, via you, and we wanted to put a program together, I needed to get myself educated a little bit. Anyways, as things started to unfold, she started talking to me about this MacWick, and she's like, I can't believe how well you guys did. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. She goes, well, I'm going to send you the report. She goes, this is probably something you should be sharing. I said, all right, great. So anyways, when I met her in person, we talked about how well we did, which I'll get to in a second, and you probably can expand on it. But I said, oh, man, we got to share this with school committee, advisory board members, general advisory board members. But I believe you guys finished top three in the Commonwealth, correct?
Yep.
So congrats to you guys. Yeah, you good job, Stevie. Yeah. Yeah. So that's just, again, I've been here a long time, and just something else that I didn't know about, and something else, that is the greatness that you guys are doing down there. And kudos to, the advisory board and your delivery of the content, and then you guys for getting it done. So go ahead. I just wanted to preface you with that.
Yeah, so just go through, think about when you guys were taking the test and how you felt prepared. The content areas were math, safety, manual machining, CNC machining.
Was that last year? Those are the ones we had one about workplace etiquette last year.
Oh, well, I thought, yeah, that's. So
they were all.
Well, I want to hear about that, Steve.
They were all fairly easy to get past because it was all stuff we'd already learned. All encompassing related classes.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. It looks good on a resume.
Looks great, yeah. Tell me about the workplace etiquette piece.
It was sort of like questions such as how to dress, like dress to impress, really.
Okay.
Like if you're going on an interview, you're supposed to dress for one level higher than what you're interviewing for.
Oh, I like that.
Interesting.
I've never heard that before.
No, I've never heard it.
I like that a lot. Yeah, because we think manufacturing, I don't know, you could maybe show up with jeans and work boots and a T-shirt, right?
Working on, if during the day, that's what you work in.
Right? But
you could show up in a suit and tie.
You could
make a good impression.
Yeah. My mom said you can never overdress for anything. Do I have that right, Joe? Does that make sense? You can never overdress. In other words, if you're thinking, do I wear a collared shirt and a jacket, or if I'm going to a waker,
you only get one chance to make a first impression.
Right,
or do I wear a button-down shirt with a tie? You probably want to go on the side of.
And from the employer's point of view, we all know it. We've all experienced it. Their first impression is the one that sticks, right, wrong, or otherwise, right? So
you guys crushed that one, right? You were good on that question.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Anybody else wanted to add? Each of you would like to, everybody has different experiences. So what your experience was about?
The MacWick testing, it was fairly easy to get by because of like how well educated we were throughout the year with like in-shop experiences and all the related classes and stuff. We kind of learned all about that throughout the year. So when the time came to take the test, I feel like we were all like very educated in that field. So
and prepared, huh?
Yeah,
you didn't study for this, did you?
No.
Yeah.
There really is no study guide for it. It's just here's the test based on the stuff that we've covered out in our shop.
We just use like past experiences and what we learned throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. And is this something, Gary, that industry is starting to look at? I guess if we have a student from WTA that has MacWick cert and there's a student from Career Tech and Westside that doesn't have it, I'll just pick on them for a little bit because probably they're not listening.
If they are, you'll know about it.
If they are, they should take MacWick, I guess.
That's it.
But would Hunter have an advantage over that student?
I believe they do. I think a lot of the vocation. I think now there's very few vocational schools that don't take the MacWick.
Everyone but Putnam in Western Mass.
Right. So
Wendy told me that.
So yeah, there's only a couple that don't, but not all the students pass. Like you said, we were third in the area for passing it. So yeah, that would and this was something that was developed by business industry. The thought process behind this was something that a lot of you go into a lot of your other trade areas. There's certifications for stuff.
Right.
In manufacturing, there wasn't. And manufacturing is a big industry, so there's a lot of opportunities, but there's a lot of different trade areas. So it was really hard to, what do you ask for? So it's a general knowledge thing. So there's a large ball of knowledge that we teach to. and then from there, young people will go out and they'll, specify a certain area of interest, and then they'll grow in that area, and then they become experts in that area in manufacturing. But the opportunities in manufacturing are huge. It's one of the reasons we have the availability to get all our kids jobs. So this test was all the questions. There was a board from business and industry. That's where these questions were developed from. Then they go out to the schools in the area to see whether or not they're phrased in a way that students will understand them. So the input behind the test is just huge. Wendy Storm did an awesome job. She's always in contact with us. A lot of times, if there's a question that might have had a discrepancy in an answer, where an instructor will say, "Well, I don't agree with this." A lot of input was put from business industry, from the technical schools in the area.
And this is updated regularly. This is not
all the time. Yep.
This is
and
not a one form.
Like the questions, the students are sitting there on computers next to each other. They're not getting the same questions. They're getting out of a
That was
pool
my very
of,
next question.
I forget how many there are. I want to say there's thousands of questions. Over 1,000 questions that are in this pool of questions, and they get added to, and they all get different questions. But there's a certain percentage that come from safety, a certain percentage that come from statistical process control, a certain percentage that come from general machining, and so on and so forth.
Excellent. Yeah, when we come back, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about Mass MEP and the need to start to get to the middle school. That was a big focus we had talked about. So we'll take a break in the flow with Rob and Joe.
That's it.
Pay some bills.
Stay tuned. We'll be back.
I got a feeling all the blues, oh Lord, since my baby said goodbye. Lord, I don't know what I'll do. All I do is sit and sigh. Oh Lord, that last long day she said goodbye. Well, Lord, I thought I would cry. She'll do me, she'll do you. She's got that kind of loving. Lord, I love to hear her when she calls me sweet Daddy, such a beautiful dream. I hate to think it all over. I've lost my heart, it seems. I've grown so used to you somehow. Well, I'm nobody's sugar daddy now, and I'm lonesome. I got the lovesick blues. Well, I'm in love with a beautiful gal. That's what's the matter with me. Well, I'm in love with a beautiful gal, but she don't care about me. Lord, I tried and I tried to keep her satisfied, but she just wouldn't stay. So now that she is leaving, this is all I can say. I got a feeling all the blues, oh Lord, since my baby said goodbye. Lord, I don't know what I'll do. All I do is sit and sigh. Oh Lord, that last long day she said goodbye. Well, Lord, I thought I would cry. She'll do me, she'll do you. She's got that kind of loving. Lord, I love to hear her when she calls me sweet Daddy, such a beautiful dream. I hate to think it all over. I've lost my heart, it seems. I've grown so used to you somehow. Lord, I'm nobody's sugar daddy now, and I'm lonesome. I got to love big blue.
Support for community radio on WSKB is provided by Betts Plumbing and Heating Supply Company, an independent, family-owned wholesaler serving Westfield for over 50 years, specializing in plumbing, heating, and industrial piping supplies. On the web at bettsplumbing.com or at 14 Coleman Avenue in Westfield. Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM WSKB Westfield.
Good morning again, Westfield. We're back. Welcome to Tiger Talk Live, all things Westfield Technical Academy. Mr. O'Leary, so we don't lose sight of it by the end of the show.
Okay.
We want to
Sure.
recognize the golf team.
I just want to say we're back with full flow with Rob and Joe.
That's right.
We only had a half a flow at the beginning of the show because there was no Joe at
Too
the
much.
beginning of the
Too
show.
much. A lot of
So the
moving
flow-
parts, Mr. O'Leary.
Flow was no more. But we're back with the full flow. Okay, anyway.
So, golf.
Just want to mention,
Yeah.
I'd like Hunter to talk about the golf team a little bit. How's the season going?
It just ended. It was a great season. We ended up finishing either 6-6 or 7-6. I don't know how many games we had. We ended up making the Western Mass tournament, which is kind of like the playoffs for golf. Ended up shooting pretty bad in the tournament. That's okay. It was.
But you got there.
How many times has the school made it to Western Mass before?
I think this is the first time in school history that
For the team to make it, that is
Right.
correct.
That's great.
First
And
time.
I think the most golfers we've ever had this year, correct?
Yeah.
It was a pretty fun year.
Can you take a mulligan at the tournament?
You can't. I wish you could buy mulligans.
I
want
know.
a bunch of them.
Right? Yeah.
I have to say that you guys inspired me to do something that I never do. Spend money on a set of golf clubs.
There we go.
I've actually decided you've inspired me to try to attempt to take up golf.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be painful and horrible to watch, but
Yep.
thank you for that.
Excellent. Well, congrats to that.
And then we also want to recognize the boys soccer team.
Yeah, another great win last night. I believe they ended the season 15-1-1.
That's right.
Or 61-1 with I forgot the stats, but a great season. And they're heading to a couple tournaments: the Voc Tech tournament and the Western Mass tournament. So, Coach DeLude and the seniors. It was senior night last night, and the entire boys soccer team. Great job on a great year, and keep up the good work. So nice work. And the girls are they're slugging it out too. They're hanging in there. Yeah. They had a good victory 2 nights ago. So we're doing good. All right, back to you, Gare. Masswick.
Yeah. I just want to hear. We got two more young people here. I want to hear about their experience with the test last year.
The test, our related classes and experience in the shop really prepared us for the MACWIC test, and our teachers really help us get through everything. Yeah.
Do we know what MACWIC stands for?
We should.
I don't know. So
You know what? I'm going to Google it.
Another acronym.
It starts with Massachusetts.
Okay. Association.
You know, in education, it's death by acronym,
Yeah.
right?
And I'm sure
Yeah.
there's
We'll get it. We'll figure it out.
in the meantime, Dom will tell us about.
Story time.
Don't
isn't
violate
too much
the
to
don't
say about
violate the
MACWIC
acronym rule.
testing. It was all fairly easy. I mean, it only took less than an hour to complete. It was a couple tests. We all did really well. I mean, everything we learned in shop helped us.
Mm-hmm.
We've got the best teachers in the game.
Yeah, that's how it be.
You guys are going for bonus.
Now, if you had to
points.
rank
I like
your
it.
teachers.
You ready? I got it.
Okay.
Manufacturing Advancement Center Workforce Innovation Collaborative.
There we go.
MAC-WIC.
Wick.
Yeah.
And last year was the first year you participated?
It was the first
Okay.
year that we had done the test. And then the other thing is they get, how many of you got the coins?
I did. I got
so
a
if
coin.
they get I believe it's like 90% or better, there's on the different 4 sections, then they get a coin. And there was we had the highest percentage of students getting the coins as well. So and that kind of goes towards the statistic of us, doing really well on that test. But yeah, it was the first time. So it was the first time we'd ever seen it.
It's kind of like bonus points. The
And
coin.
it wasn't. So that just goes to the fact that we can't teach. This isn't a test we can teach to, right? It's just that the students sit down, they take the test, and the information that they're being asked, Do you know it? And this is
embedded
what industry is saying. We need this is what we want our students to know. A student to know coming in to be prepared to work in our shop.
Did the test break down their scores individually, or is it?
It did,
It did.
and I had that data at some point.
Yeah.
I actually it's kind of cool because it's all web based, so I watch it live.
Okay.
I'm sitting there. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes, yes.
You're like,
You know, while I'm watching.
Dom, you know
Room
that
for 'em.
one.
Come on.
Unlike
Hey,
the
one
more.
It's
You
like
get
off track bet.
Yeah, that's right.
OTB.
Yeah.
So, so it's really cool. And like Don mentioned, it's an hour. They have like 2.5 hours to take this, and our students just like,
wow,
kind of flew through it. So it just speaks to.
I was going to say, on the average, how long did it take you to finish it?
Less than an hour.
Yeah, definitely less than an hour.
Probably around like an hour, maybe less than an hour.
Depending on the person.
Yeah.
Half an hour.
45
Depends
minutes,
on
maybe.
how fast you work.
As a matter of fact, they finished so early. I think Wendy allowed you guys to try
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
the
the second
MacWick
one.
2.
The MacWick 2.
And I even had a couple of students that passed sections in the MacWick 2 when they were 10th graders. So the test that's usually going out towards seniors, my 10th graders, a lot of them passed sections of it. There's some stuff that hasn't obviously
They hadn't
covered
gotten to yet,
so,
right?
Right.
So that'll be part of our kind of our mapping. They'll do MacWick 2 next year.
Yep.
Or
in
this year?
May,
This year.
This year.
Okay, so
They're
you're
gonna
just
do it this year.
you're kind of
because
pushing everything.
They're all
out.
going to be out.
So actually,
on a co-op.
you're again anticipating a question I had. When are these assessments administered?
May. She comes out. She'll make a schedule in January. She contacts all the schools. Because she must be running all over the place.
Yeah.
'Cause she does all the schools in Massachusetts. So
Yeah, and I want to tell you, she was very happy that we put that little program together, and we talked about once and some people know this and some people don't, and I think the policymakers and certainly some of the people in higher education, they look at early pathways at the high school level. It really needs to start before that.
We talk about that all the time.
As I explained to Wendy, once they get here, you guys start going through exploratory. So that mini exploratory is really like a career pathway for you. We got to get the 7th and 8th graders to start having meaningful thoughts about which school they want to go to, why they want to go to. And I was just up at Gateway yesterday presenting to about 40 kids, and that was the conversation. I don't care where you go to high school. I'd love for you to come here, but just be meaningful in your thought process because, as you guys know, it comes quick. You're going to be looking at co-op in June, which is about 8 months away. So,
which, after we get back from holiday break, is a downhill slide, as you know.
So my
they'll
point
start doing their interviews fourth quarter, and they'll have their jobs before summer starts.
So now that our middle schools have, did that realignment, I would love to start doing more with 7th and 8th graders, getting them here more, getting them engaged in project
and
learning.
we talk about this too. Engagement, one-to-one, face-to-face engagement needs to start happening around 7th grade, but building awareness has to happen even earlier than that.
Mm-hmm.
We have to, I was fortunate. I grew up in a family business, so I had career awareness in a big picture sort of way as part of the world that I grew up in. That's the exception. That's not the rule. We need to be talking about it in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. And hats off to the superintendent because that's something that he's been talking about and advocating for and building since his administration began. But as a leadership team, we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why we were able to see the beginning of career days in the elementary school, why our outreach is so important when we do our Adopt a School every early spring during National CTE Week. It's never too soon to begin having the conversation.
Yeah,
sure.
We've brought some little ones through your shop too, and it's kind of cool to see them, with these big machines.
Then we just give them trinkets, and they're like, "Ooh!"
And they
we
love it.
tell them we made it.
Ooh, it's shiny.
Stuff that,
Right.
Our students made for them.
shiny.
It's like, well, actually, I don't know if we can just throw it out to the student. When you guys were going through exploratory, what helped your decisions? And we can start over here with Dom and kind of go the other way here. What influenced you to take manufacturing?
What influenced me? Well, I kind of already knew because of my older sibling, because he went through manufacturing. But going through exploratory kind of just was like, wow, you make these cool things. It just feels like you get a feeling of satisfaction when you complete something, and it's like, wow, I can make stuff that is going into space in the future potentially.
Right. It's not just stuff. It's really sophisticated stuff. Right.
And what about a sibling coming through here influenced your decision? Why did that influence you?
Well, when he went on co-op and where he works now, he makes a pretty good amount of money. So who doesn't want money?
Sam's at Hamilton, right?
Yeah.
Right, or whatever they're called now. Something like that. They changed their name.
UTC, I believe.
Yeah, they changed their name.
Actually,
every
they
year.
they're a UTC division of something. Yeah.
Yeah, the corporation formerly known as Hamilton Standard.
How about you, Dave?
Well, when I came to the school, I was kind of already interested in manufacturing because my dad does it. And after like actually experiencing it and the whole process of getting a print, reading it, like learning how to read it, creating the part and feeling that satisfaction that you actually learned it and created it by yourself, and knowing that not just anybody can do that is kind of satisfying.
I feel like it's a common theme here, but like with family being in the trade, it just kind of, like I naturally wanted to select manufacturing like when I got here, and it's just the feeling of like making the part and stuff. It's just the satisfaction you get is kind of addicting. So
it really is.
It was a really cool program, and when I saw like the program that was here, I was just hooked. It was awesome. So
did any of you contemplate which school you're going to go to?
Yes.
You guys?
Not at all.
Who said yes?
Me.
You were still on the fence, even though your brother came through here. Same with you, Dave. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew right away I wanted to go to Westfield. Like when you went and presented at Gateway, I was like, gotta go here.
Yeah.
Gotta go.
Gotta go. And of course, Steve, your sister,
My sister came through here, but she was in culinary.
Right.
So I think I'm the only one here that didn't have a sibling go through manufacturing.
Or a family member.
Or a family member at all. I have a father and a brother-in-law that went through automotive, and my sister went through culinary. So I kind of came in here open-minded, not really knowing what I wanted to do, and manufacturing just seemed right.
Yeah.
Creativity, you can express your ideas in material form.
How many juniors do you have?
Like 11.
Is this your
12? We're at 12 right now.
pretty solid?
Yeah.
Pretty solid numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, so 12. I think our shop right now is at 54. I want to say well, that's what they anticipate.
Right.
Our freshman year is almost always full, so with
Right.
the anticipation of 16 freshmen.
Yeah. And then, so you'll start with these guys. You'll start in the next few months, kind of assessing and seeing where they want to go and their specialty. And because you do a nice job with every shop's a little different when it comes to co-op, but you guys do a nice job trying to match their talents and their interests with companies' needs and so on and so forth.
And well, that's the benefit of being in a manufacturing hub, right? So there's, like I said, there's many pathways in manufacturing itself, and a lot of them build on each other. So a lot of our shops promote from within. So a lot of students are saying, I eventually want to be a programmer. There's going to be very rare opportunities for even the most stellar students to go in and do programming, because they'd be programming parts that are going to go in a jet, right? You don't want to make a mistake in an airplane. So, but
ideally,
if
no.
they say that that's what they want, we will put them in a shop that promotes from within. They'll start and maybe design apprentice process or something like that. And
Talk
then
about that
end up
just for a
promoting.
second, Gary. What are some of the specific pathways under the manufacturing umbrella? It isn't just about standing in front of a Bridgeport all day.
Right. So, there's some like advanced manufacturing. A lot of the guys that go in there, they are the more hands-on, manual, toolmaker, quality-minded, figure it out, problem solving. There's a lot of students that like that pathway. Then you got your CNC machinists who will just set up and operate CNC machines. They generally go on to do set up an operation of a cell of machines. And again, they can progress from the positions I'm talking about are entry level, but they all grow from there. Applications engineers are people that their shops were able machine tools, or Aubrey Morris will hire students. They'll come in again as apprentices, and those are actually machine tool companies that sell the tools, but they need people to be able. Joe Blow's machine shop calls and say, "Hey, look, right now it costs me $5 a part to make this part. If you can save me the money and show me I'll spend $1 million on a machine if it's going to save me that $1 million over a course. That's what an application engineer, they'll take the part, they'll find the tooling that is available at that shop, determine how to make that part, and sell it to the company. And they have to do all the process along the way. Then there's operation engineers. So there's people like Alice right now is working at Comatics. She's a senior of ours, and that's what she's doing. She's developing in the operation sheets that creates the part, and those operation sheets go out on the floor to the CNC areas. Quality control is another area that is huge in our industry.
Inspection.
Parts before it goes out the door, it's got to be right, because before it goes into the airplane or the tank or the submarine, it's got to be functioning correctly. So that there's those are the big fields, and under each of those there's even subcategories that young people can go out and do out in industry. So selling Able Machine Tool also hires. So a lot of our young people are into mechanical things, so they like working on cars at the same time. So that's another area where they'll go and install the machines, put the machines together. As a matter of fact, we had a problem with one of our CNC machines. Tuesday, a past graduate from I forget when Anthony graduated. I think 2012 he graduated. He came in, worked on the machine. Coincidentally, 2 days later, another machine had an issue, and Austin, who graduated just a couple years ago, was working there, came into work. So it's great. These guys come in and actually save us. As a matter of fact, Anthony, we teach a night course, so and it was 7 o'clock at night, and I had something happen with an adult in one of the CNC machines, and it locked up, and I'm like, I'm done for the night, and we got 3 hours left. And I texted him and said, hey, I got this error miss. He was at Dunkin' Donuts on the road and came in.
Wow.
Fixed the machine.
Wow.
So it's it's our students are just they leave here and they're just phenomenal young people that help us out all the time. They support us after we've supported them through, teach them, and then these guys come back and support us later on. So
I know, I love how we stay connected. So last week when we did the STEM event, Mr. Tulumas was kind enough to go to Advanced, and he was there for all the groups, and I was at Jarvis Surgical. And I think, Dom, you mentioned it, a couple of things. The good thing was kids saw things that were real life and that mattered. So Advanced, they do a lot with military work, government contracts. Jarvis, these kids are walking around with hips in their hand and shoulder replacements.
Parts I'm going to need in a few years.
That's what we said. So
you're in good company.
This is stuff that it's real life and it matters. But Mr. Amati was away when we went out, so Mike Barna did the tour, and Mike was one of our graduates. So, we love having you guys graduate, go on to good things, and then coming back and helping out on our advisory board and just being kind of part of the school, part of the business, part of the community. It's pretty good, and we talk about keeping jobs local and taxpayers invest in our school.
Right, and particularly in manufacturing, there are certainly opportunities outside of the 4 western counties, but right here, never mind the 4 counties, right here in the greater Westfield area, what are we on? Something on the order of 50 separate manufacturing businesses. I mean, there are phenomenal opportunities available here, and the number of those opportunities is growing every day because the workforce is shrinking because of retirement, because of decrease in population, right? We're sort of there's a critical mass of things happening. People are retiring. Younger folks aren't having the same number of children that they did, so it's sort of like a perfect storm scenario. But even though there's a negative aspect to that, on the positive side, there's tremendous opportunity available for folks who are motivated and skilled. So, and you don't have to go to some far-flung place to make a really good future for yourself, which is great.
Maybe I'll look into that.
Diversify your portfolio, Mr. O'Leary.
I'm ready for another career.
Maybe we should take the evening course.
There you go.
You think I could handle the math, guys?
Yeah.
You think so? I don't know. It's been a long
That would
time.
be the challenge for me, is the math, not the machining piece. The math would be a challenge.
Can I take your evening class without the math? Just the machine?
No, you need the math.
I need the math.
Well, actually, you get
It's not that hard, Dom. I could handle it.
Yeah. The teacher that teaches it does a really good job.
Because it's been a long time since I've had algebra. Yeah. Forget about trig. You guys do a little.
I didn't get that
trig,
far.
Did you? We're doing trig at these guys at the end of sophomore year. We start trigonometry.
We got to get them
right angle
college credit for trig. You do that in a related class?
Yes.
Tell us about articulation. Do they know about the articulation?
Yeah, well,
agreements?
I've talked to the juniors about that. So a lot of so you talk about career readiness. A lot of our shops will pay for young people to go to college, but when they leave here, because of, I believe we have 5 classes that we teach here in our related classes. We have a lot of related classes in our shop. That when they leave here, if they matriculate over to Stick, they will get the credits for those 12. They get 12 credits. So there's 4 classes they won't have to take or pay for. Which now what a class probably $700
It's
or whatever,
900 to 1,000.
$1,000
Yeah.
bucks. So so you figured
For a
it's
3-credit class.
$4,000 they save from being in our
huge.
program. So we've had that articulation agreement with them for probably 5-6 years now. I think.
Oh, yeah.
Became lead teachers when we started
And
got
every year,
back in here.
2 or 3 will call me and they'll be like,
Yep.
"Hey, I want the
Yeah, because a lot of young people come to the school without the thought of college in mind. But
Yeah.
then as they go through the trade and they find that, hey, there's actually something in school that interests me, because we kind of jade our students towards school based on the making them take subjects that, hey, you have to. We know why, but they
Right.
don't while they're going through it. So as they're going through, but when they come to this school, and these guys can testify to this, they're, especially in their shop and their related classes, that question of why am I taking this is
Yeah.
answered, right? I mean, is that, you guys
Yeah.
find that to be true?
Yeah, 100%.
Producer Pete, were you just trying to get my attention? I've got the defective headphones. I got nothing in the right side. So Producer Pete's telling us I'm getting this sign from over the window because I can't hear in my defective headphones, right?
Is he saying hooray, or is that mean
No,
it's a break?
it's time.
Oh,
It's time for a break. So we're gonna take a quick break. Please stay tuned. We'll be back.
I'll keep your eyes on the road, your hand upon the wheel. Keep your eyes on the road, your hand upon the wheel. Yeah, we're going to the roadhouse, gonna have a good time. Get a back to the roadhouse, I got some bungalows. Get a back to the roadhouse, I got some bungalows. And that's for the people who like to go down slow. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll, baby, roll. Let it roll all night long. Do it, Rodney, do it. You gotta roll, roll, roll. You gotta thrill my soul. All right. Roll, 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 roll. I feel my soul. I gotta be paganta chucha. Hong Kong, Kong, kadanta. Shakuna nicha. Papalula nicha. Bompa nicha. Isong Kong. Yeah, right. Ashen lady, ashen lady, give up your vows, give up your vows. Save our city, save our city, at night.
Underwriting is brought to you by Boise Cascade Distribution, providing products and services needed for building material dealers, home improvement centers, and industrial customers. They offer everything from engineered wood and plywood to Drex decking and railing, James Hardy siding, and Advantech subfloor. Located at 33 Fowler Street Extension in Westfield and on the web at bc.com. They are committed to providing quality products, great service, convenience, and value.
Support for community radio on WSKB provided by Westfield Electroplating. Employing over 140 skilled platers, painters, and technicians, Westfield Electroplating was founded in 1946 and was the first company in the country to achieve National Aerospace and Defense Contractor Program accreditation, proudly maintaining that status for over a decade. Westfield Electroplating provides over 50 quality finishes to meet your corrosion, cosmetic, or performance needs. On the web at www.westfieldplating.com or 413-568-3716. Westfield Electroplating, putting the finishing touches on technology.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8. Wow, it's Tuesday with Bob Plass.
Community Radio
89.5 WSKB. Live from Studio 120 at Westfield Technical Academy, this is WCPC Channel 15 and 89.5 FM, WSKB Westfield.
And we're back, Westfield. Good morning again. Welcome to Tiger Talk Live, all things Westfield Technical Academy. So I think I'm sufficiently recovered from the music hoodwink.
Oh, yeah.
Producer Pete.
I was worried about you, Joe.
I said this was not selection number 2 that was requested last
I don't know CPR, so I was
supposed to have been the Andrews Sisters.
My
Vastly
apologies,
different
my
selection there.
apologies.
Of course, on a mindfulness note, a couple of the other staff members broke out in song. So I think we set the tone for a pretty good day.
All right.
Yeah.
All's well that ends well.
Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good.
Speaking of mindfulness, one of the topics today is we want to touch on this new initiative, perhaps, that's going on.
Yeah,
Well, not so new in your
not
department.
my department, right? So I've been, and that we get feedback from the young people on this. So yeah, something that has been a big part of my life is just mindfulness, and it's, I mean, you hear about it all. It's been on Time Magazine and all that kind of stuff. It's going to be in school systems.
And that's
it's
when I
just
said
a
new. That's what I
self-regulation.
kind of meant, almost like a global,
right?
Mindful. Yoga practice, mindfulness,
Yes,
mindful
right.
eating. I mean, it's just, I'm starting to see it pop up in different areas.
And it's because right now all the neuroscience and everything is starting to back just the benefits, the psychological benefits of mindfulness and what it can supply for us. And it is, we were just joking about phones and stuff like that, but that's what it is. Our society has changed so much and so fast that we need ways to settle in. We don't have the things that we had years ago. When I was a young person, I actually had to go outside and play. So those kinds of things are fast-paced, go, be productive, competitive life just keeps us always going, and we have to settle in. It's just taking time for yourself to just sit and settle in. It's something that is a biological necessity, and so people have been saying this for 2,000 years, right? But now there's neuroscience that is starting to back this, and because some of the problems that are becoming escalated, look, there's a lot of mental health issues in young people these days, and it's just because of the experiences of how our society exists. And it's not somebody's fault. It's not anything. It's just we need to take time to just be present, settle down. I always use the example with the young people. It's like when everybody's got internet now, right? So everybody's got a router at home, and everybody's got wireless, so your phones don't work, right? When it doesn't work, we get all frantic or whatever. How do you reset it? What do you do to reset your router? First thing that you do, you go and you unplug it.
Yeah.
And you let it sit for a second.
Yeah.
I call my wife.
Well, that's what your wife does. She'll go over and she'll first thing if that doesn't work,
honey,
you got to call the cable company. But you unplug it and let it sit for a second and let it settle in. And once you experience it, and anybody can experience with it. What do you do when you start getting frustrated? What's the first thing someone says? Hey, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
And that's all.
That's a good analogy. I'm going to use that. I like it.
So and that's all we're doing. So for I've been involved in mindfulness activities now for.
Why don't you go unplug for a minute?
Yeah. So for 4 or 5 years now, I've been doing it. I brought as a startup activity in my classrooms. we have a 4-minute, 3 minutes between classes. A lot of times, literally, our students are coming from a quarter mile away. And that's, so if anybody doesn't know the demographics of our school, the 4th floor, if they're up on the 4th floor and they have to hurry up and get down, so they're rushing around, it's like, oh, I gotta hurry. So they come in a little amped up, whatever conversations they were having in the hallway, whatever tests they might have just took, or something that they're worried about taking a little bit later. I started doing this 2-minute mindfulness exercise in my class, and it made a big difference. It made a big difference in the classroom management style. And I've always had, kind of, I want to create a safe, secure and learning environment for all students anyway. And it played right into that, and it worked.
How was it received by the young kids?
You can let these guys speak, and I tell them all the time, speak honestly, because not everything's for everybody. So go ahead and speak honestly.
I love the mindfulness thing. I use it outside of school too now.
Really?
Yeah, I've kind of adapted to using it for sports and all that.
Are you comfortable enough to kind of share your practice with the listeners?
Yeah, so before matches or races, whatever the sporting event is, I'll sit there and kind of just shut my mind off for a little bit. Just take a moment to breathe. Everything's gonna be all right. You focus on the match,
Yeah.
And it really helps me. It gets me through sports and stuff, and I love it.
And you could apply that to, I guess, if you're studying for a big test or
Yep.
going on an interview.
Yep.
Just being kind of
stubbing your toe.
Stubbing your toe.
Anything that just elevates that that sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah, just taking a few minutes to take a breath and relax and it really does help.
That's awesome. It's funny, we did a little professional development last year with Kripalu, which is a big yoga place, and it was really helpful to us. And we started diving in a little deep, and they actually have it for golfers. And professional golfers are even getting into it now where, like you said, before high-pressure match, just unplugging.
Geez, golfers strike me as being pretty calm for the most part, at least the outward.
Well,
you've never seen me on the golf course, Joe, have you?
That's true.
Yeah,
I know how I would be. It probably not going to be very pretty at the beginning.
Yeah.
Actually, if you want to talk athletic, Seattle Seahawks has a mindfulness coach. Chicago Bulls have a mindfulness coach. I know there's almost all these athletic teams now are having an actual mindfulness. Tom Brady has a mindfulness practice.
Yeah. Want to hear a good quick story of golfing? My buddy who's retired, but he sold a adult beverage product. He worked for William Distributing. He was golfing with a guy, and the guy was missing shots, throwing his clubs. Not
being mindful.
Sounds like me.
For golfing, right? He getting to the last hole. He takes a shot. Hits the water. He takes his bag. Now everybody's watching him on the golf. He takes his golf bag. He chucks it in the pond. The whole golf bag, clubs and everything. People are watching him. He takes 10 feet away. True story. 10 feet away back onto the green. Now they're done. Stops, turns around, walks back into the pond, picks up the bag, unzips it, gets his car keys, zips it back up, leaves the bag in the water, drives off, soaking wet. That's one of the best golf stories. I have another one, but it's not for the radio.
Yeah. We'll share it later.
Anybody else want to chime in on maybe mindfulness and
golf stories?
I don't know when this guy first kind of said we're going to start breathing before class. I mean, were you like,
go ahead,
what's he talking about?
I mean it's a lot better now than it was then.
Like anything,
we're more used to it, and I like it a lot better at the end of the day.
Sure, okay.
Yeah, relieve what you've been going on through the day rather than right in the morning when you're just going to fall asleep.
You mean the beginning of your last class or the end of your
beginning of the last?
Unfortunately, I had them at the beginning of the day. It was the first period, so that's when I chose to do it.
All right, but I guess to your point, whenever it's right for you. And same thing. I find myself if I'm not sleeping at night, if my mind's racing, I don't even get up. I lay there, I cross my hands, and I just do some deep breathing. 5 minutes, I'm done.
There's actually some studies about that for people like you and like me who are raging insomniacs. Even if you can't sleep, studies show that you shouldn't get out of bed. You should stay. You should be quiet.
Because your body gets rest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Body still rests. So just a little bit about
not do what I do. Get up and make a pot of
some
coffee.
different things about we talk about stopping your mind and stuff. Just a clarifying point about what mindfulness is. Just being present. So there's a number of different ways to do that.
Right.
It's just about being present in the moment. And the reason that we say focus on your breath, I have asthma, so I don't use my breath. I just use sensations in my body. It's just being like I can feel my butt on the chair or my feet on the floor. Or I did something with these guys. Energy in their hands. It's just if you look at your hand, you can see your hand. Close your eyes, you still know your hand's there, right? So you can feel your hand. So just describing what feeling your hands is. And it's just so. Again, if you think about this, why is that a great thing for school? It's attention, right? You're bringing your attention to something. So it's learning how to focus, and that was the original reason I started all this in school, because in 15 years, you see the huge change in our young people and their levels of focus and attention because of all the distractions that we currently have. Because that's what a phone is, just a constant. What do you do a second you're bored, right? We take out our phone, right? Because we think of boredom as something that's wrong, because we're not ever supposed to do nothing. So this is kind of ingraining. Yes, you should be at some point in the day, even if it's 2 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever, to do nothing, because that's what settles you in. It's what able to stop our thoughts. Or you don't stop thoughts, just like you don't stop lungs from breathing. Thoughts are going to happen, but you don't have to pay attention to them. You don't have to listen to them. You don't have to let them distract you or take you into these long stories, right? Because a lot of times you get a thought loop, right? That just keep. How long you have a thought loop and you can't let it go. Can't let it go.
Oh, we're Italian. We have thought loops for 30, 40 years. Right. They just never go away.
So just to clarify kind of what that is, and there's a mindfulness committee in the city of Westfield that gets together and talks about how we're going to integrate this kind of stuff, and we're doing some stuff with the 8th grade in the middle school with the 8th graders at the school.
Yeah, how's that? How are they receiving that, the 8th grade level?
Good so far. So what we're doing is we're trying to come up with an actual.
So a new venture for you,
right?
Too.
Yeah, going into the middle schools every other week, and I've got a lot of time to do that. And I'm working with teachers, and there's a lot of teachers that are very open-minded to it, so that's one of the reasons we chose a middle school. Plus, it's a great age to start with. I've asked a lot of these guys if this was introduced to you earlier and explained to you earlier, you think it would have been beneficial, and I always get a resounding yes. And so we're going into the middle schools, working with the teachers that want to, because this isn't something, this isn't a new initiative of, new thing all teachers are going to do. It's
right. You don't want to force it on someone.
Right. It's something if you feel it's beneficial and you believe in it and you watch it work, then that's something you introduce.
But the good news is if there are enough people doing it and finding the benefit, hopefully the example is the
right.
And how nice is it to have something in your daily practice that can apply to any industry you're in, any age group, any schooling. It's not like they're throwing something else new at us that has to do with MCAS or education or MACWIC.
It's a personal tool.
But it's just a personal tool for self-wellness and mindfulness, and that's pretty cool.
It's like going to the gym, and there's no equipment involved.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay for anything. You don't need a membership. And it's just as healthy as going
free
to
is
the gym.
good.
Dom, you ever do yoga? No.
Start doing that.
You don't.
I can't put my left foot on my right. So I struggle with
You don't have to. It's your own practice. I found that out. Right. Dave, yoga? You're a yoga guy? No? No yoga? Okay.
No yoga. You're asking that question.
As you get older,
have you?
You'll
me too. It's okay. And it was funny, Don, because when I first started doing yoga, my focus was on everybody else, and I'm like, boy, they're good. Kind of like human nature,
right.
Whether you're an athlete, you're comparing. Right. And then finally, the yoga teacher one day, I think I was complaining. She's like, Rob, it's your own practice, man. Do what you can. And if you don't want to do the pose that I'm doing, don't do it. Right. Lay down and breathe. So that's what I do, and I fall asleep.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
I love it. Shavasana.
Right.
Namaste.
Yeah.
Namaste.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, it's good stuff. I enjoy it, so I'm glad to see you're kind of running with your passion, because you used to come to my office years back and spew what's going on in education and how
do we fix it?
How do we fix it? What are we going to do? And
help the
you know what?
The problem with education is like the problem with so many other things. It's bigger than all of us are individually. So the only thing that we can do is try to have as positive an effect as we can on the small piece of it that we have control over every day. And there are times, 'cause you and I have talked, and I feel the same way that you do. There are times where that is grossly unsatisfying.
Right.
But we have to resign ourselves to it. And if there are enough of us making our little piece of the world of education better every day, then hopefully at some point there'll be more widespread improvement.
Well, it's a systemic things are hard to make
Of course they are.
one thing fit everybody, right? So this is a tool that everybody can use to find their place in that big systemic thing, right? To be able to settle in, find your path, and be comfortable with it however you can be comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So
And it's hard for us as educators because as a group, I think we're notorious control freaks.
Yeah.
I know I am, right?
Well, how could we not be with everything?
That's right.
You know, I mean.
That's right. Considering the amount of accountability and so on and so forth. But practices like this help us remember our real place in the whole
Very interesting
framework, which is a good thing.
Well, you got to be a regular now. This is good.
Maybe we'll do a mindfulness segment.
I think so, and this is how we'll get momentum. I really truly believe that. So. We got Tigers Fry as we wind down.
I'm looking at that. I didn't even know. I didn't see buffet. I knew we were open.
Sure. You want
yesterday
to do the
and
honors today?
Sure.
Would you care?
So for today's menu, table service today, we're Portuguese stone soup, cream of broccoli, cheddar soup, garden salad. The luncheon salad selection is a taco salad, coconut almond chicken. Not especially my wheelhouse. Kind of a Southeast Asian thing.
Yeah,
but,
I'd be all over that.
I was just going to say that. That's got you written all over it. Salmon and croute sounds good. Grilled portobello mushroom panini. I think I might go in that direction because we've got a luncheon engagement today. So
MGM's
that's
coming
good.
in.
That's right.
Yeah, shout out to them.
And then this was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
A Friday buffet this week. So
we got a brunch buffet, carved baked ham, Greek pollock, chicken and broccoli Alfredo for the heart stoppers out there. Cheese lasagna, chicken Kiev.
Oh, one of my favorite dishes of all time.
Sauteed shrimp, apple crusted pork, and a bunch of other goodies. Don't forget, we got open house tonight, 6 to 8. Come on by. Please stop by if you're 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, post-secondary.
Anybody, everybody, taxpayer, community member.
Want to meet these awesome kids that were on the radio today. They are our future, and we're proud to have them. And every time I get sour, I step back, I'm mindful, I start to engage with these guys, and I'm like, all right, we're going to be okay because we got some awesome kids.
You ever get sour?
He hides in the closet when that happens. That's right. Nobody sees it.
He's doing yoga in the closet.
All right, another great show, Joe.
Great show.
Thanks so much for joining us, guys.
All right. I want to thank everybody for tuning in again this Thursday. We hope you all have a wonderful weekend when we get there, day after tomorrow. Please stay tuned for the superintendent's spotlight. I'm seeing out beyond the window there Mr. Newton, the principal of Westfield Middle School. I'm guessing he is the guest of honor. But anyway, stay tuned for your time to wrap with Chris and Zap. Have a great day.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by Bay State Dental. Comprehensive dentistry at 14 convenient locations in Springfield, Chicopee, Longmeadow, West Springfield, Belchertown, East Longmeadow, Ludlow, Northampton, Greenfield, and Wilbraham, as well as 29 Broad Street in Westfield. Bay State Dental makes it a priority to help you achieve and maintain the healthy smile you deserve. On the web at baystatedental.com.
Underwriting is brought to you by Boise Cascade Distribution, providing products and services needed for building material dealers, home improvement centers, and industrial customers. They offer everything from engineered wood and plywood to Drex decking and railing, James Hardy siding, and Advantech subfloor. Located at 33 Fowler Street Extension in Westfield and on the web at bc.com, they are committed to providing quality products, great service, convenience, and value.
Support for community radio on WSKB.
Support for the community programming of WSKB is provided by the Dunkin' Donut Shops of Westfield and the Sardinia family. It's nice to know that even as the world changes, Dunkin' Coffee remains the same at 7 convenient locations throughout Westfield.
It's Tuesday morning from 6 till 8.